So I take my dough that we had sitting overnight in the fridge, and I'm just gonna put in some flour, just a little bit, not much, just so you just have it not sticky. And then you're gonna go around the edges and basically put your thumbs and make a little hat around it. So see, I got that. Lay it on the center of the table, and you're gonna squish it out, just to stretch it out a little bit so that you begin to get, and now you're gonna smack it between your hands. As you smack it, you're rotating it, so each time I'm smacking it, I rotate it, smack it, rotate it, smack it, rotate it. And you'll feel it getting bigger and bigger as you're doing this. Once you get it a good size, start to stretch, you're gonna put one hand underneath as a fist, and the other hand's gonna pull it slightly, and that's gonna start making your crust. So you start stretching out, and that'll start getting your shape here. And you're gonna keep pulling it, because the dough's gonna keep pulling itself back in as it begins to kind of stretch here. Once you get big enough, you can easily spin it. The spinning helps make it more even when you do that. So you can see as it does that, it's also stretching the pizza. You can do whatever shape I want, spin it. Once you get it to about the size you want, you put it on your screen here. And it should be slightly larger. This has got a little bit more to go. So put that on there. You don't want to punch holes in it, but it's slightly larger. And now I'm going to go around the edge of my screen and I'll pinch up the sides of it to make my edge of my pizza crust. And then that's basically also going to help keep your sauce and your cheese and all your toppings inside the pizza dough here. And now it should stay because we've already stretched it, and by spinning it and everything, we've got it nice and even. You don't dock this. You do not use this on it because it'll punch it through the screen. So, and now I can go ahead and take my sauce and just sauce it all the way to the edge. About a cup and a half or so. The further you go to the edge, the better. It's going to keep it from bubbling up too much so you don't get too much crust on there as you're cooking it. But you don't want to go over the edge because it's not a square pan, so it's going to drip all over your oven and whatnot as you're doing this. And then just kind of spin that around here. Make it nice and even. Once you get it all even there. And you don't want to put too much sauce. If you want extra sauce, you put the extra sauce on top. If you put it on the bottom right now, it's going to make it so that you can't get the dough to cook all the way. It's going to become gooey and not actually cook all the way. So now I'll take some of my mozzarella, about a cup and a half. You're going to put less than you think. You actually should see some sauce sticking through. If you put it so there's no sauce sticking through, you're going to have so much cheese, everything else is not going to cook on that. You don't put any flavoring on your crust yet. That's all done when you take it out. So I'd say a cup and a half, 2 cups of cheese here, give or take. Now I'm using mozzarella, and then I'm also going to use some brick cheese, which gives it a little bit more buttery flavor when you cook it. So I'll take some of that. My brick cheese here. It doesn't take much, you just put it in a little bit on there. Now I'll take my toppings. And these, the further you go out to the edges, the better, because you want to get all the way to the edge. That crust is still going to bubble up on the edge for you and give you your regular pizza crust that you're used to seeing on a round pizza. You just got to make sure that if we don't go all the way, everything's going to sink into the middle. As you're cooking, everything's going to slide in the middle. So if anywhere you're going to put less, it's in the middle. Because all the sauce, all the toppings, everything's going to slide as everything starts to rise and kind of angle down towards the middle. If you have natural pepperonis, you can put them on. They're going to cup up, so they're going to make it a lot smaller. So you usually put them right next to each other. There's no space. If they're common pepperonis that you get at the grocery store, they're usually lay flat. They don't actually curl up, and that's just because they have processed materials in them. And then we'll go all the way out. I'm also going to put some ham and then some larger pepperoni slices that I have here on it. So I'll leave that out. And put our ham on. Same thing, go all the way to the edge. The smaller you cut the ham, the better, because then it's not getting these big chunks that are going to make it uneven cooking of the pizza. So that's really good to cut real tiny small pieces there. And then I got some big slices of pepperoni I'm going to put on here as well. I'm going to pull those all the way out to the edges on here. Now, if I want to put extra cheese, you would put extra cheese on top. But again, stay all the way to the edge. You don't want to go to the middle too much. It's already going to be sliding in. So put just a little bit. I don't want too much extra cheese in here. And if you want extra sauce, you can put a little bit. And usually you put little dots. You don't want to You put them on the outside, don't put them on the inside in the center, because again, everything's sliding in. So you just put a couple drips around the edges. And it might not seem like a lot, but it's going to make a huge difference when you cook the pizza, because it's going to be areas that don't get cooked as much because of the sauce. But it will come out pretty good. So now I have this on a screen, so we're going to cook this for about 14 minutes. And we'll see how it looks.